wash away that chocolate.
For God's sake. I've only got a cup of tea, but I'll get some water in the recess. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, okay. Welcome to the Waffle Cafe podcast, your regular plate of healthy, topical fun, debate and banter for myself, Ben, and I'll let yourself introduce yourself this week.
And Dave is here as well.
Sorry, I always introduce you. You never get the limelight. I'm sorry, mate. So,
that's fine. It's fine. You know, we live and learn.
But thank you for joining us. This is episode 7. We're aiming for 10 for the season, and then we'll break for the summer. Transfer window time, deadline day. You never know. One of us might come, one of us might go. Speaking of the agents, you never know. But yeah, it's episode 7. It's a lot of content. There's a lot of content.
It is. It's out there. Some weeks are good, some weeks are bad, but yeah, still enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, my wife is she's a couple of episodes behind. I'm not putting the pressure on her, but I am starting to give her smaller portions for dinner every week that she doesn't listen to science. So she better be preparing. She's going to get a few carrots next week. So there you go, man. How you been, mate? You good?
Yes. Glad to be back. We've had a little week break, and now we're refreshed and ready and raring to go. And it's a 3-day week because we've got the Jubilee.
Oh yeah. Are you doing anything, or is your area doing anything?
Do you know what? I think the problem is I think there's too much choice, you know.
Oh, really?
There's stuff happening everywhere. And it's like, what one do you go to? And everyone's doing different, or this type of thing, that type of thing. So yeah, got a couple of things planned in, and I think the other days just play it by ear and see what happens. What about you? Is Northern Ireland doing much? Or really?
Well, obviously the political culture here is you're either a unionist or a nationalist or in the fence. So some towns will probably go now out, and some towns will just enjoy the day off. Really, I haven't sort of noticed anything in the towns. My sister-in-law, she said she's doing like a Jubilee barbecue, but she took the mickey out of me because like she goes, "Oh, is Ben having a steak, or is he still vegan?" And I was like, "No, I'll bring my vegan burgers. You know, I'm a bit on a detox environment, and I want to try and keep as veg as possible." But she takes a mick. Unless you've had a really good, decent vegan burger, right? You can't really judge. If it's not for you, then okay, that's fair enough. But like the ones that we get are really decent. The Beyond Burger is really good, so I might try sneak that into a bun and just maybe say, "Oh look, Hannah, here's a burger for you," and see what she says. But the thing is, her husband is a cattle farmer, so obviously he breeds cows for meat. So they're very pro meat people. So I'll get a few sticks for that, really. But yeah, no, that's probably what we're doing. And yeah, because it's 2-day week. Are you going to work Monday? Are you back to work Monday?
Yeah.
Because some schools and some works here are taking an extra day off. It's weird. I don't know how they're doing it. But it's half term as well in England, isn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, so some like here they don't do half terms here in the May. They just go straight through, and then they break up end of June. So where all the English schools they break up sort of mid-late July.
Yep.
The schools here they break up end of June, and then they don't go back until first week of September, I think.
Oh, it's our private school.
Yeah, but it's a long summer term. But long summer, it's weird. But I don't know what kids do for 8 weeks, 7-8 weeks in the summer. It's crazy. So anyway, that's enough waffle. Let's get going.
Our first topic of the week, as always, is good vibes of the week, where we share something positive that's happened in our lives, a positive news story, just something to brighten your week. So, Ben, what have you got for us?
Do you like donkeys, Dave?
I've got nothing against donkeys.
Okay. I was to say if you had beef with a donkey, but do you like? Okay. Maybe I should start that again. No, let's just keep that going. My good vibe of the week is actually a bit of a shout out to a donkey sanctuary that is over here, but its locations all across the UK. So the Donkey Sanctuary is a charity which obviously rescues and rehouses donkeys, obviously. And there's one just outside Belfast in Temple Patrick. And I have been there. And weirdly, so I went there for like a work visit because they do like a social wellbeing program for children and to like use donkeys as sort of like a tool to help them like confidence and social skills and stuff. So you work with the donkeys and that. It's lovely. But before that, my mum knew that we're moving over to, obviously we live here and stuff. She sponsored a donkey from the Donkey Sanctuary called Benjy, obviously. And it turns out my line manager also sponsors Benjy. And then when I was in a school the other day, the head teacher, I walked into her office and she was a donkey lover, had pictures of donkeys everywhere. And who did I see on the side? Benjy. So I'm in a bit of a pickle at the moment. I'm speaking to some lawyers because I'm in a bit of a custodial battle for Benjy's right, parental right, really. Because I don't want to be sharing this donkey around anyway. So, but
everyone loves Benjy, apparently.
I know. But when I was there and I chatted to staff, they're lovely staff. It's free to go. And there's ones in the UK. I think the closest one to you is like Devon, I think. When I was looking around, but it's located all over base and it's free to go. You have to book like a slot to go in, and you go and you can have an opportunity to pet them or feed them if they're on that sort of stage of the day, because they're very, very protective of the donkeys there and stuff like that. But they're like run by lovely people. And when I went there, they had like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 donkeys just like standing in the sun in the morning. It was like just Eeyore. It's cool. It's really cool. But I just thought, I'm quite an animal lover, and I just think a sanctuary for donkeys is just a really lovely idea, and I wish there was obviously more of it for all animals, really. Do you know what I mean? So, especially one for dogs. There should be more dog sanctuaries and more dogs homes. So,
very good, very good. When you were there, did you say, is there any donkeys that aren't sponsored? Because maybe you could move your sponsorship to.
I'm not moving mine. I mean. It's my namesake.
Well, there might be a poor old donkey there, might be like Eeyore or something like that. That's got no sponsorship, and everyone's Benjy's there lapping it up, raking it in, and poor Eeyore's got nothing.
I felt a bond, and I actually met Benjy. Like Benjy was he was in his own enclosure because he wasn't well or something like that. I don't know, but I met him and I had a bond. We locked eyes, and it's just something in my heart called out to. I'm joking. No. Do you know what though? I'd love to have a couple of donkeys. I think you're not supposed to buy them as individuals. You have to buy them as a couple. They like companionship. But I'd love to have a couple of donkeys, to be fair. So I might just buy a couple and just dump them in the field. Or dump them out in the garden. Actually, it's not a big garden, but they're lovely, man. Yeah. So that's my good vibe. Is a little shout out to the Donkey Sanctuary. To
be honest, like you see donkey stuff like sponsor a donkey a day on like adverts on TV and stuff, but they're always in other countries. Wouldn't even cross my mind that there was donkey sanctuaries here. It wouldn't even across my mind. Like I understand sort of like more domestic pets because obviously people get bought or whatever, but I wouldn't have thought many people would have donkeys that they then need to go to sanctuary. But
yeah, you're right, because sometimes you see the donkey adverts and there's like one in Spain has been like carrying bricks and wood up a mountain for
that's it, yeah.
They look knackered, and broken, and you probably think animal rights over other countries are very, not as good as they are, I don't think, and you wouldn't think it, but they're probably. I think a lot of the donkeys that go there are from fields and farmers that don't want them anymore, they've moved on, or sometimes vet bills can be expensive. So they just put them in there, but then they rehome them, obviously, for people who can rehome them. So if I did sort of got round to the point of getting a couple of donkeys, I would go back to them and still Benjy. Yeah, definitely. I'll still Benjy. Like, hell yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like,
how old's Benjy? Do you know?
No, but he has. I think he has been there for a while. But he is like the start. Like you might joke that he's the star of the show.
It sounds like it.
Well, he is. When they do Christmas shows, apparently he's the one that comes out dressed up as Santa or something like that. But yeah, so yeah, he's a bit. Apparently, he's a bit of a celebrity. He's always the one that gets put on to do like the main stuff. So
Go on, Benjy.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, good vibes out to Donkey Sanctuary. I do like those people. I do like them. They're lovely people. A lovely setup. So, what you got for us, mate? What you got for us to smile this week?
I'm in Belfast.
No, you're not.
Well, I'm not recording in Belfast, no, but my story is from Belfast.
Right, okay. It still feel like a Northern Irish theme this week. Okay.
I know. I think other ones of my good vibes have been happening in Ireland.
Okay.
But, yeah, this is just something so simple. It was Ed Sheeran was doing a concert in Belfast, and there was a 6-year-old called Daniel, I think it's Keating, and he had a sign saying, "It's my birthday, I love you, and please sing Bad Habits." Ed Sheeran spotted that, and instead of doing that, he got the whole crowd to sing the boy happy birthday.
Oh, that's quite nice.
And I just thought that's so sweet, because obviously, I don't know whether all, like, I think possibly a lot of musicians probably would or whatever, but they're like doing their own thing. They've got their routine and songs all planned and stuff like that. And just something so simple like that, that the boy was so happy afterwards. It was a crowd of more than 40,000 people. Imagine how many people have sung you happy birthday on the day. Like, maybe if you have a party, 20, 30, 40, you have 40,000 people singing him happy birthday at 6 years old. I thought that was just such a sweet and nice thing for Ed Sheeran to do.
It is nice. I honestly, I'm not a massive fan of Ed Sheeran. I do find his music boring. I do. I know. I do.
I won't be tagging him. I won't be tagging him in this then.
I respect everyone's opinions. It's just not for me. I don't find his music interesting. Yeah, that's lovely. I'm sort of being a bit of a Scrooge here. Well, it's not Christmas, so it's the wrong term to use. But there is a big influx, especially in football, of a lot of kids and people putting up signs saying, "Ronaldo, can I have your shirt?" And like hoping to get his shirt and stuff like that. It seems to be a bit more of influx for a lot of more card requests. Do you know what I mean? And it sort of takes away. I remember reading a few things about some people were saying it takes away like the moment of the concert or the football match, that you're going there not to just enjoy the music or the event, but you're actually hoping to get something out of it that some people will probably sell on. Do you know what I mean? But he's 6 years old. He's not going to do that. But I'm just thinking a few parents at football matches put their kids straight in front, get the sign up. Messi, Messi, can I have your shirt, please? And then obviously gets a shirt, and the obviously parent gets it and sells it on. So there's a dark side to those requests.
I mean, this kid was only asking for "Please sing Bad Habits," which you probably was going to sing anyway.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, I've had people sing "Happy Birthday" to me. Not 40,000 people. I mean, you were there. Probably maybe 20 people in an Indian restaurant in Witton. Do you remember that?
Oh, that was so funny. That was so funny. That was brilliant. Well, it serves you right for being late. And they went and they went and got you a cake.
So, short story, people. We all met up for a local Indian where I used to live. And did I turn up late? A few minutes late, did I? We were the last ones. Me and my wife were the last ones there. And I think you and Hannah were a bit tipsy because you were very merry.
Doesn't sound like us at all.
And I didn't know this, but you told them that it was my birthday.
Yep.
During like them obviously giving us our meals and stuff like that, they went to like Iceland or something, brought a cake and brought it back. Then as we're getting a bill, they come around the back of my shoulder and started singing happy birthday. And then the whole restaurant started singing happy birthday. And then I look at you and Hannah, I was about to say like wrong person, but you just went shh, 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 you know, shh. So that's anything, and so I had to go with it, and then everyone clapped, and everyone went speech, speech, speech.
The important bit you have, the important bit you haven't actually told the listeners is it wasn't your birthday.
No, it wasn't. It was 6 months away from my birthday. It's like nearly peak summer of my birthday in November. So then I just jokingly went, thanks everyone, drinks on the house. You know, obviously not. Fucking, you can imagine a bill for that. But yeah, that was a big. And do you know what? After that, we never went back to that restaurant because I thought, you know, if they had me on file, you know, they're obviously going to might question it. But
I thought it was quite sweet though, because to be fair to them, they didn't even charge for the cake. I think they went the Tesco's up the road.
Yeah.
They got a cake and they didn't charge us for the cake.
Yeah.
But if they're listening now, I'm sorry. I'll give you the couple of quid back for the cake.
I don't think they're listening because they closed down. Actually, to be fair.
Oh, did they? Oh,
yeah.
Probably because they had to spend too much money on cakes for people.
People like you, they went out of business, so people like you conned them out of a free birthday. But yeah. So lesson learned, man. Next up, gripe of the week. Our turn to let rip on something that's been annoying us. Just a moan, a groan, just to get off our chest and feel a lot better after it. And it only usually works. It can be something really small or something major that's completely ruined our lives, like dropping a tea bag. That's a moan, isn't it? But there you go. Start us off, Dave. Get off your chest.
Well, I think this might be a long one.
I'll go quiet then.
I think it could hit. It's going to run deep with you, this one. So I was watching, would you believe it or not, Country File last night.
Oh, no, I know exactly what you're going to say.
Did you see it?
No, but it's been all over Twitter. Oh, I'm not going to go. I'm not even going to go comment. I'm not even going to comment. Go on, carry on.
It's the cycling versus car wars.
Oh,
has it been over Twitter? I haven't seen it on Twitter.
Oh, just drop it out. Oh, okay. Go on, carry on. Go on.
The thing that struck me was there was a Paralympian on. I can't remember the first name. Something Story.
Sarah Story.
Yeah, and the way she was coming across was, so they wanted to put all rural roads to 20 miles an hour.
Right.
First of all, and I was like, that's ridiculous. That's not going to work. So you got a massive, long stretch of road that's 20 miles an hour. So, but my gripe with it was that they're interviewing people on cycling and interviewing people that drive cars, and the people that they're interviewing don't do the other one. They don't do the other ones. They don't have any respect or any idea how the other one uses the road for safety or whatever. And I think I've said it to you in the past. The worst people to talk to about this for drivers are drivers that have never cycled and cyclists that have never driven. You need to have respect. If you do both, you can see it from both ways. So no, we both cycle. Well, obviously you cycle. I haven't cycled for a while, but we both cycle. We both drive. So when you're cycling or driving, you're looking out for everything. Yes, when you're on your bike, you're looking out for slightly different things when you're driving, and vice versa. But it was just the stuff that they were saying. It didn't make any sense to me. All the program was trying to do was one side bash the other side. And as with everything, you can have a small minority ruin something for everyone. So when people see, especially like drivers, when people see a cyclist out, they go, oh, bloody cyclists. Well, they might have had a bad experience with one cyclist. It doesn't mean all cyclists are bad. And I know, obviously, the dangers that cyclists, because obviously they're more of a vulnerable road user rather than a car. Personally, a car is, unless they get hit by a lorry, another car, whatever, if a bike goes into them, they're not going to be hurt or injured.
Yeah.
but a cyclist will. But yeah, it was the way the whole program, that section was filmed and reported on, that it just didn't sit right with me. It didn't show for me a true reflection from both sides. It was basically, when they say they film stuff just for their own narrative type thing. It wasn't, I don't think it was like a fair thing for either side. And yeah, I was watching it, I was like, it's ridiculous. It got me angry, so hence why it's made the podcast.
Do you know, everything you've said, I completely agree. You're right. I mean, like, do you know what? I could talk with you for hours on this. Like,
I thought it could be a long one.
I know, and I'll try to keep it as close as I can, because someone who has cycled for so long, obviously I used to cycle every day to work. You know, I've done so much on my bike, you know, and I have driven as well, and I drive not every day because of my work, but I drive a lot, and I do rural roads and dual carriageways and stuff. And the same with my bike as well. Let's go back to the point. So rural roads for 20 mile an hour. I mean, no.
Wouldn't work.
To be fair, I don't even think you kind of need it really, because like I go down to the bottom of my town, I take a left, all of a sudden it's turned from 30 mile an hour to a national speed limit winding road. No one's doing national speed limit down that road. And if you are, you're an absolute imbecile. I mean, like 60 mile an hour on a winding country road with blind bends and like dips and stuff. No, I mean, like, there are some stupid drivers here, there really is. And they like my wife was saying as well, either here they drive like a maniac, crazy fast, or they drive ultra slow and just stuck behind them. So like, and there's no like middle ground here, where I think in the city areas a bit, you get a bit more of like an average speed sort of user. So I try to be as empathetic as I can. And I can see why people might call for a 20 mile an hour rural road, but it's not practical, especially when cyclists, like, you know, club riders, they'll easily do 20 mile an hour. Anyway, you know, there is a law where there is no speed limit for cyclists. You get done for like dangerous cycling or something. There's a law or something, but there is no speed limit for cyclists, because a cyclist won't. I mean, like, I won't ever hit. I mean, to me to average 20 mile an hour on these type of roads is ridiculous. You know, it's way out of my zone really, because everything is just a lump. Riders can do it, but you're right. I mean, if you drove and you cycled, your hazard perception is so much better. Really is. You know exactly what to look out for. You are so much more alert on the road. Because like when people argue about cyclists should wear high vis and stuff like that, I don't think I understand how high vis works. High vis only works when there's a contrast background. If you're wearing high vis green and you're cycling through rural roads where it's just bushes and greenery, you're not going to stand out. Black stands out in front of green on the daylight. Do you know what I mean? So people use lots of excuses because they don't understand, like you said, they don't understand actually the things out of it. On the flip side as well, I do understand when drivers come behind cyclists and stuff like that. But for every moan, and I think you touched on it, for every moan you might have over that cyclist, wherever they are, whether you think they're in the wrong, if you think they're in the middle of the lane, road, whatever they want to call it, they're the most vulnerable person, and the responsibility is the person in the most dangerous vehicle. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have control over the situation. So, and unless you're in a life and death rush, just wait. I mean, life is more important than getting into a bit of road rage or something like that. I literally, like, if I get stuck behind a tractor or something, I don't feel it's safe to overtake or whatever. I don't. When people obviously do, and they freaking go around blind bends and just think you're an idiot. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, like, yeah, I totally agree with you, mate. I think if you're having a driving test, I think you should be made to cycle a bit of the roads or something. At the same time, if you can't force people to drive when they cycle. It's like a freedom, isn't it?
Obviously, yeah, you don't need a license or anything for a bike, and it should be that free, and be able to jump on a bike and get around without having to get a license. But I mean, as you said, like if you get stuck behind a tractor, people go, "Oh, I'm stuck behind a bike." Well, you can get stuck behind other slow moving vehicles. What you do is you wait until it's free for you to
Yeah.
pass safely. I think I was on a speed awareness course, and they said, what do you do if, like, so if you're this, obviously speed awareness course is obviously if you're in a car. So if you're in a car and someone comes up behind you and they're flashing, honking you, wanting to go faster, what do you do? The correct thing to do from the speed awareness course is you just continue exactly how you were driving. You don't change your way. It's up to them to either slow down, calm down, or overtake when they feel like they need to. You just continue your journey as you were doing.
Yeah.
So
Do you know, and that's a bugbear. I hate people up my arse. Absolutely hate it. Because you're constantly looking in that mirror, especially I've got my little boy in the back, and especially if you're on a fast road and they're putting my little boy at danger, I am literally, I'm sometimes I flash the hazards and put my hand up, but you know what I mean, just like back off. And it's just, worst case scenario is if there's a point, sometimes I pull over, pretend to park, and then they can move on. I'd rather them fly away from me than be up my arse and stimulate it. But you're right, yeah, you've got to be quite strong and disciplined to drive like that as well. You know what I mean? You could get yourself in a bit of road rage, all because I'm an absolute idiot, wants to drive like a div, you know. So
yeah,
you know what, mate? Like I'm at the age where I just try to keep myself safe, and the attitude I've always had on the road is treat everyone on the road as they are the worst driver or worst cyclist you've ever come across. Expect the worst, really expect it. Like you come up to a T-junction, and I've had it. I've had really close misses. Just expect they're not going to see you, and just be prepared, be on the brakes. Just anticipate they're not going to see you, because if otherwise, there will be a time where they will pull out or something. I remember there was one time down Walton, past reservoirs, car waiting at a T-junction. Just as I was going past, it started to pull, and I felt its bumper clip my pedal. It was like one of my first sort of years cycling on a road bike, and it really shook me up. Really shook me up. Another time I had turned right over a mini roundabout. That's another freaking bugbear. His car has gone straight across the mini roundabout, and it was in a pouring round rain. I had to skid, but as he went past, and I don't care if people want to criticize me for this, I smacked the back of his car, like just out of rage. He didn't stop; he just drove on. Because if I hadn't turned on the last minute, he would have hit my front wheel. I'd have gone underneath the car. It's some scary times, and you know, I'm quite lucky that I haven't been knocked down or anything like that. But what's to say next time there's an idiot, because they don't, like you said, they don't understand both sides.
No.
What a depressing gripe of the week. Freaking hate you for that. Like again, we could spend days on that. It's a minefield which I don't like get myself into, because it can be quite stressful, especially like you said, people don't understand the arguments, really, to be fair. But in a perfect world, mate, everyone will just drive safe, drive a bit of care, and that's it. That is literally it, you know. Yeah. But do you know what? I'll keep my gripe quite quick. I'm getting annoyed with brand matching. I'm getting annoyed with brands giving you contracts right at the end and then try to keep you. That's it, mate. That's my gripe of the week. Edit. No, joking. That's what we do. We say edit to try and help our thing. But I will keep this short, because you've literally you've set me off now, mate. Like, I feel really
heated. Feel heated.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, I'll keep it short. So I had, I was out my phone contract, and just as I was leaving to get a really good deal, I went from Free to Virgin. Free then starts like texting and ringing and stuff. Oh, don't leave. Oh, we'll give you this, give you that. And I was thinking, well, you had your chance. Do you know what I mean? Like, you had your chance. Stop spamming me with all this stuff. You had your chance. You knew I was leaving, because I was out of my contract. You should have offered me a good deal. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not going to spend my time then going back and forth. You had your chance. Tough luck. Thanks for your time. See you later. But don't brands do? Does that not annoy you? Like, you say your car insurance up.
Yep.
And then you go find someone cheaper, and then all of a sudden they know you're leaving because the admin comes through of leaving and stuff like that. And then they start getting in contact with you. Oh, don't leave. I will match that price. But why didn't you match it in the first place, you div? Obviously, it's business. I get it. It's business.
Part of the game. It's part of the game.
Yeah, I get that, but it's just like, well, treat me better than I would have stayed. You know what I mean? So,
I do feel that when they do, these like new customers only get cheap deals or whatever is not right. It should be a
yeah,
case of everyone on the same. Everyone should benefit. It is a bit like the whole insurance. The whole insurance ones are the worst. Yeah, it's part of the game. You always compare every single year. There's no benefit or loyalty for staying anywhere for a long period of time.
yeah.
It's who can steal whose customers as quickly as possible, and then hope that next year they'll just renew and we'll get the money back that way.
Yeah, their turnover customers must be so much.
Yeah.
The only thing I have never changed is my bank account. I've been with Santander since I was like 16 for like the last 20 odd years, because I don't want to go through the hassle of changing like card numbers and all that stuff. And
that was very easy to do.
oh,
and you get new card numbers anyway. The cards expire anyway, and you have to get a new card.
Well, it's like, but sorry, account numbers and stuff. I can't be bothered going through like your pay and stuff. And I just like, do you know what?
All switches automatically nowadays. Don't have to worry. Simple.
Well, okay. Well, maybe I'll consider it, but I've never have, to be fair. But yeah, that's annoying me, mate. But your Gripe Repeats annoy me as well. So we'll move on.
Next topic up, Tuneage of the Week, where we share a song, an album, something that we love that we want to give you to listen to. Everything that we recommend gets added onto the Waffle Cafe podcast playlist that you can find on our link tree. So anything that you're unsure of or you want to find out what it is, jump on there and give it a listen. I'm going to go first because last week you said mine was depressing. You didn't
what was it?
Kano, P's and Q's. You're like, nah, not liking that.
Well, you've had a very grimy run. You've had a very grimy run, haven't you?
Yeah, so I picked it up, ready for a bit more happy-go-lucky, cheery, nice summer vibe. And have you heard Dilipo Miguel, Don't Forget My Love?
Sing it.
Don't forget my love. Don't forget my love. That's pretty much all I can do.
I was going to say that's not enough for me to go on. I'm going to have to say no.
You're going to have to listen to it, but you'll be pleasantly surprised of that one compared to last week's one. So I hope.
We're talking house. Is it like house or just like
poppy, housey, like a funky, feel good vibe. Nice summer tune. Summer's here. It's a nice one to listen to compared to my grime from last week.
Yeah, because your suggestions fluctuate from a lovely barbecue song, right? Like a nice early evening chilled drink song, to like standing on a corner with a freaking like knife in your hand or something. But okay. I'm assuming it isn't sort of another sort of barbecue summer evening song. Yes. I really haven't heard it, so.
It's been on, I think it's quite a new release. It's been on the radio and stuff recently, so you might have heard it and not realised it's that, but yeah.
What do you listen to radio when you commute, or what do you listen to?
When I commute, from my house to my garden?
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay. When you're I was thinking you were still driving. So do you listen to radio a lot?
Well, yeah. So we've always got sort of Radio 1 Extra on in the house, pretty much in the background, and then I've got I've just got an Alexa actually for my office, so I can start now listening to some Tuneage
on the Waffle Cafe.
That's it.
Podcast playlist, yeah.
Yep, in the office.
Okay. So, all right. Okay. Well, we'll add that on, and I'll keep my ears open for it. I don't really listen to a lot of radio. If I do, it's kind of, I don't know, a bit sort of indie rock a little bit sometimes, and I kind of let Spotify suggest stuff. I quite like the algorithm on Spotify.
Okay.
Spotify radios are really, really good, and I know we usually find a few few little charms like that. Well, my Tuneage is actually from a band that you've seen with me.
Oh, go on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Obviously, I probably wouldn't have seen many with you.
No, me, Tom, and Siobhan, and yourself went to Wembley,
Ah,
and we saw 3 bands. Can you remember those 3 bands?
well, the main wasn't it the main headliner. It was. Oh, hang on. Was it? It was Oasis, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
And then so who supported Oasis that day?
I don't think it was, but I don't know. I have no idea why, but for some reason, I want to say Foo Fighters.
No.
No, I didn't think it was. I don't know why I had them in my head, but no, I can't remember who supported them.
So there was Kasabian,
Ah,
but they're not my suggestion. Although they've got they've got some very good tracks. But my suggestion for this week is The Enemy.
okay.
Now you would have heard, if you're a bit unsure, you would have heard some of their tracks. I'm still going through all the back catalogues of bands and artists to see if I could pick up like some tracks I don't have on my playlist. And I listened to their albums this week, and their debut album of We'll Live and Die in These Towns is my album suggestion for this week.
Okay.
And we saw them. You would have recognized a few of their songs. One of them, Away From Here. Away from it. You'd recognize it, and they've had a couple of so very like sort of pumpy indie band. They've had a couple of albums. They no longer play, although apparently they have joined up for a union. But they have like the reason why I quite like it. They have like a working class kind of feel to them. A lot of their lyrics are all about. They've got a track called Saturday on their second album, which is all about like living for Saturday. It's quite funny. So because they're from up north, and that working class kind of element is quite strong up there, and so all their lyrics are quite what do you call it? Relative to the people who obviously who live in those kind of areas and stuff like that. And yeah, man, just pumping tracks and lyrics. I've really enjoyed listening to them. Another couple of songs to listen out for is This Song Is About You, and their album title We'll Live and Die in These Towns is quite a nice song. Not all of them is like real banging indie. A lot of them is actually quite mellow, but yeah, they're really good. Obviously you don't remember them playing, do you?
No, I probably would remember. I remember that song and stuff, but I have heard of them. But yeah, it does. I don't remember. I mean, obviously, I just get blown away by Oasis being the headliner there. But yeah, no, I do remember the new Kasabian. I think Kasabian were quite good. It was quite a good concert, actually, to be fair, all 3 of them.
Do you know what? I slightly disagree that I wasn't blown away by Oasis. Like, I thought The Enemy was really good. I thought Kasabian was very good. And then Oasis came on, and I felt a bit underwhelmed. And I remember it being just before they broke up.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt like they lost the effort. Like if there's a live show to watch somewhere, I think it's somewhere on YouTube, and it's in Glasgow or Scotland somewhere, and it's a brilliant gig. It's like real hot, a lot of energy. All the crowd knows all the lyrics and so on. They're going mad. And I just, maybe it's the venue, maybe it's just the time of their career. I didn't feel like I saw them at their peak, which is kind of weird to say. But to be fair though, to say that you've seen Oasis play, I mean that's quite something actually, because one of the biggest bands, you know.
Maybe we should throw a bonus track onto the playlist. Wonderwall, love Wonderwall.
No, the rules are 1 track or an album each. I'm not bending the rules just for you, just because you can't remember who The Enemy were.
Might sneak it on there, listeners. Don't tell Ben.
Footage of the week time. We give our suggestions of what we've seen on a box or the cinema, maybe. Do you know, I just put it out there. I messaged you guys in the WhatsApp group yesterday. I'm going to see Top Gun Maverick tomorrow night in 4D. Have you seen a 4D film?
Do you know what? No, not a full-on one. Like, I've seen like when I've been in like Disneyland, like a very short one before you go on a ride and stuff. But is the 4D the one where, it's like blows air and water and everything? Yeah, there is a cinema near me that does that. But maybe actually, because I've always said, you need kind of like a decent a film. Not all films are going to work 4D, are they?
No.
But like, because obviously planes, basically you're probably going to be like in a wind tunnel for however many hours.
I mean, I should have researched before I booked the tickets to see actually what was good, because I thought I want to see it. I want to see it in 4D. So I booked a couple of tickets. My father-in-law is going to come with me, and I was reading a few reviews, and basically the amount of things that the chair can do is quite crazy. Like the chair can rock, rotate slightly, lean back, rumble, like the wind. And one thing I didn't know, but it can spray out aromas. So like I'm thinking like, so maybe like the jet engine fuel, they're gonna spray like the jet engine fuel in your face or something, like
fire burning.
Yeah, like heat, exactly. And but you're right, like this gotta be, and I've sort of get the vibe it's been really well received, this film. And I love Top Gun, the first one, so like 4D, man. And I had to go this week. Over here they have like week slots, so next week's Jurassic, the new Jurassic Part 1.
Was that out as well?
That comes out next week. So every week the premiere or action movie takes the 4D slot. So it's only this week that I thought I need to take the opportunity to get it done. So sorry. So anyone who's seen a 4D film, hit us up, because I ain't got a clue what I'm getting myself in for, really. So
probably better, be more like exciting, not knowing what we're walking into.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? I'll try. Do you know what? I will do my footage of the week for Top Gun next week, if it's good enough, and obviously I'll review it back as 4D. So
I thought that was your review. We've been talking about it.
No, sorry. I'll just put it out there just to make my ego. So okay. So I'll keep this one short then. I'm really sorry. So my footage of the week. Have you seen Love, Death and Robots on Netflix?
No. Is it good?
Yeah. Like if you're into your anthology sci-fi stories, it's brilliant, man. It's all pure CGI. It's kind of like a crossover between Black Mirror and all the sci-fi, all the science fiction films and series that you've ever watched. It's just brilliant. Like some are quite humor, some are really dark, some are really out there, like Alien World. Some are, example, there's a few episodes I've picked out. So so they've got 3 seasons. They call them volumes. The third one's out, but the first season is still the best one, and it's really ideal for like snap viewing, because each episode is only like, it could be 6 minutes long or 15 minutes long. So it's literally snap viewing. It's just short stories.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, but it's good though. It's just enough to give you like the thing. Like one of the some of the episodes I recommend, I've written down, is one's called Ice Age. So this couple move into this flat, I think, and they open up their freezer, and in the freezer are these little miniature people, tiny civilization people from the Ice Age. So they obviously it's a bit weird for them. So they close up. They come the next morning, and the Ice Age is now turned into like the Bronze Age, and like. And they're watching these people sort of evolve every time they open up their freezer.
That's like that's from The Simpsons.
Is it?
Yeah. Do you remember? What is it? Lisa does an experiment. You know that experiment where you put a tooth in like a tray of Coca-Cola.
Right. Yeah.
And it's made decay.
Yeah.
That's in The Simpsons, and every time she looks in, the ages. They've gone further through the ages.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Like I said, it's probably been a take from quite a few things.
Yeah.
One of the other episodes is called Shapeshifters. So it's based off this like war, like Afghanistan, like in the deserts. And in the army, they have a couple of soldiers who turn into werewolves at night, and they go and hunt the enemy. But the enemy also has someone who turns into a werewolf as well. It's all CGI, so it's all like computer game quality graphics. It is some of the detail is absolutely brilliant. But then they've got really funny ones, like there's just one more called there's one called The Dump, where there's this old bloke who lives in the dump. His house is there, and then these like land developers come to try and obviously get him off the land, and he's like, he's not, he obviously says no, and he has this like dump monster that comes and like destroys stuff, and then basically ends up eating them, and it's all humor, it's all really funny. So it's a bit out there as a suggestion. Great for snap viewing if you like your sci-fi, you like your CGI. Yeah, love Death and Robots. It's worth watching. Have a look. Yeah,
sounds good.
Good man. So what you got?
So I said a couple of weeks ago, I'm finishing stuff, and then I'll be up to date and I'll have some new stuff because I was recommending some old stuff. So I did Top Boy, finished that. Ever watched Killing Eve?
I did about one episode and I couldn't get it.
You gotta go through it. So season 4 is out and just finished, so you can watch the whole of Killing Eve. 4? Yeah, there's 4 seasons of it. It's just finished. That'll be the last. That's the last ever one. The way it's ended, I'm pretty sure that's it. They can't do any more now. But it's basically, Killing Eve. It's a spy thriller television series. It follows Eve, who's played by Sandra Ho, a British intelligence officer, and she's tasked with capturing a psychotic assassin called Villanelle, played by Jodie Comer. And as the chase progresses, the two develop a mutual obsession over each other. Yeah, came out in 2018, the first one. It ran for 4 series, 32 episodes, and just finished the last one last night. Bit disappointed with the way it ended, but then I think that can be the case with some series or even some films. You get to the end and it's like, is that how it's like they got bored, they've like written all of it, and it's come to like the last one, it's like, oh, how do we finish it? And they just finished it off the way that they did. It's
weird because it's not always the ending that you expected or hoping for. It's always someone else's take on it, isn't it? And it's always very subjective, isn't it?
Yeah. So my notes, in my notes is what I was reading up. The first 2 series were praised, and the other 2, 3 and 4, had mixed responses. But I mean, the show broke weekly ratings week on week. It's received British Television Awards. Both Sandra Ho and Jodie Comer have both got awards for them. So it's definitely worth a watch. It's a very weird and wonderful program. It's not anything that you probably haven't seen before. It's a bit out there. It's not like a normal sort of MI5 type thing, going catch a villain type thing. It's got sort of a bit, not sci-fi, but a bit like weird and wonderful stuff mixed in there.
Is it quite a slow burner?
No, I don't think it was a slow burner. The first series, not at all. I don't think it was a slow burner at all. I think that's the thing, is these series go on and on and on. It's, do they provide like good value? And maybe season 3 wasn't all that, but this season 4 was good. I just didn't like how it ended, to be fair. It tied up a lot of loose ends from the previous 3 seasons, but I think they have said that's it now after this one, and I think they should probably put it to bed.
So would it be a fair comparison, because you said that the agent and the assassin, they kind of like a mutual likeness for each other? Is it sort of similar to like the relationship built up in Homeland? Do you remember when like Carrie and Brody started to be a bit close? And
yeah, I guess yeah, I think that is a good likeness, definitely. Yeah, because it's one of these things, isn't it? When you have to try and capture someone or whatever, you have to think like them and and then the other person's got to try and outsmart each other. But then obviously, I think these characters then written that they're both as smart and intelligent as the other one, and then they kind of they have that respect, don't they? And then they can get close. And but yeah, no, that is a good. I'd say that's fair. That is a good likeness.
Okay.
For sure.
I might maybe we'll give another go. My wife's getting through The Handmaid's Tale at the moment, and we're both started Stranger Things, so we'd have to put that on the list. I'm willing to give things a go. Like you've suggested like The Wire in the past and episodes and like Breaking Bad, and I had to take a couple of turns at that to get into it. So it could be something else I just need a bit more patience with. But
to revisit, I think it always helps as well if when you come to it, everything's out when you've got 4 seasons, because then you don't have to wait a week and you can sort of burn through a couple, 3, 4, and then go, oh, okay, now I'm into it. Yeah, I can continue type thing.
And as I say, on the side note, I've noticed with Better Call Saul, you haven't watched Better Call Saul, have you?
No, I think I did start, and then for whatever reason I didn't have time. But I need to. That's one I need to revisit.
It's worth it, but there was such a gap between this season and the one before, and because of COVID and stuff, I was lost in the story. So you're right. If it is a bit, obviously, streaming services, we're only going to sometimes release an episode here and there to obviously make you come back and get value for their own money. Having the whole thing just ready to go, you would be so much more clued in. Like I said, like Stranger Things at the moment, it's in 2 parts, but the season's already available, so you can binge it.
Yep.
Although that's not great because that means you binged it and you've got nothing else to watch. But
yeah.
You could buy into it more, couldn't you? Really, and you just could take more time with it rather than lose faith with it. Really, and my wife's quite annoyed if I lose faith in some of her suggestions. She gets quite annoyed. So, yeah, okay, man. I'll put it on the list.
Our next topic is instant replay, where we look back on a sporting event that we think you need to know about and just relive what happened at the time. Who wants to go first on this one?
Yeah, I'll go first. Mine's a cycling one.
Okay.
Which ties in very well with your country file rant.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I know. So, Chris Froome.
Heard of him?
Yep, one of the most decorated British riders of all time. Whether he's had a bit of a controversial couple of years with when he was at Team Sky, then Team Ineos. There's a few sort of like drug rumours, stories going around. I mean, it's like that's what it's like in pro cycling. Anyway, I like to try and look at the successes, and I watched this stage. It was the 2018 Giro d'Italia, which is literally just finished, and it was stage 19. And for those who don't know much about cycling, you get 3 main tours, 3 grand tours. One of them's the Giro, the other one's Tour de France, the other one's La Vuelta, and you get 21 stages in each, 3 weeks of racing. Got to stage 19, Chris Froome, I believe he's second in the race overall, and Simon Yates, Mitch and Scott is the leader of the race. Now, the reason why I picked out this, I watched this, and it was at the time when I had Eurosport and I was watching lots and lots of pro cycling, and I watched this, and Chris Froome won the stage in a 80-kilometer solo breakaway. Yeah, I mean, 80 kilometers is, I'm just trying to work this out, 50 miles? Yeah, 50 miles, yeah. 50-mile breakaway. 50 miles on his own to win the stage. Basically, short story, on one of the climbs, the Col della Finestra, his Team Sky train basically just set a massive blistering pace, climbing up, dropped all the riders, dropped the leader, Simon Yates, and as soon as he got to the top, Froome aero-tucked and pedalled. And I think it was the descent where, have you ever seen that picture of Chris Froome on the drops, and he's sat on his top on the frame bar, and he's pedaling in an aero-tuck position. Have you seen that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and if anyone out there, unless you're a pro, don't do it because you'll probably fall off, and especially at that speed. He descended like a madman, and he won the stage by 3 minutes from the chasing breakaway. And to put it this way, Yates, who was the leader, he cracked on that climb. He finished 40 minutes after Froome on that stage, and obviously lost the Giro. I just remember watching that breakaway and thinking, that's what a talented rider. He was absolutely unreal. Like, I know cycling is a bit of a subjective kind of thing. My dad, my mum, you know, they didn't really understand why I watched cycling, but they would always put the Tour de France on because they like to watch the scenery and that lot. And most of the time, nothing happens for like 5-6 hours, and then you obviously watch for like 5 minutes at the end or something. But if you watch the mountainous stages, those are ones that are best to watch because you get the breakaways and stuff like that, and the drama's there, especially at the end of the tour. And that Giro was brilliant to watch. So yeah, if you ever get to see the highlights on YouTube somewhere, just watch that descent and watch that breakaway.
Is it fair to say, for people that don't obviously watch a lot of cycling and stuff like that, that normally, especially a breakaway going that early, especially if he's by himself, they normally get caught. They don't stay out, because the peloton that are following, obviously they all work together, they're slipstreaming, so they're saving energy and stuff. So for people that aren't into cycling, to stay out that far by yourself and win it isn't something that happens all the time. Usually
what the peloton do is, if a breakaway goes ahead, they let them go off, and it's roughly, I remember hearing this, it's roughly a minute per 10 kilometers that they could reel them in, right? Because then obviously they get up the pace of peloton, like you said, they get the drag effect, they get the slipstream effect, and they can claw that 1 minute back in roughly about 10K.
Wow. Okay. I've not heard that figure before.
It's roughly on that kind of. Obviously, there's other factors involved. If there's a mechanical to the breakaway, you know, even if you're solo in a little mini group, you know, there's those other factors. But if they worked, if the main peloton worked, so they can claw back like a minute in 10 kilometers, but they have to time that. So they all allow the breakaway to move on. Maybe they don't need the points because you get intermediate sprints and climbs for points and stuff and extra bonus seconds. So if they're building up for like a sprint at the end, the peloton obviously will drag that breakaway back, time it, so then their energy is not already zapped for the finish line, so then they could put all their eggs in one basket, lead the train out for their sprinter. But if they don't, that breakaway can obviously stay away and get to the finish line before the peloton. Froome must have just, honestly, actually, to be fair, I'm not sure I could. It could be a couple of factors. That peloton must have been knackered. Yep. Or they just did not work very well together. And also you do get, so Froome's teammates, Team Sky, you can get them actually disrupting the peloton themselves. So if they stayed at the front of the peloton and slowed them down, and because obviously you need like, for those, again, those who are not those who are not familiar with the terminology, you get trains. So basically a team will sit one rider behind each other like a train, and that will do a drag effect. So the person at the front will do a turn, they'll pull off, go to the back of the train, and then go through that as a cycle. And that keeps the pace up, and also it gives everyone a rest. And when it's your turn, you keep the pace up and you drop back. But if teams can't form themselves in that peloton, what a team may do is sit at the front of the peloton and just disrupt those trains by going into those trains and, like, you know, and just disrupt the flow. And that means the pace and speed drops. So there's lots of tactics involved that you can get away with. But Froome, I mean, like, he won the stage, like you said, by, you know, on his own by 3 minutes, and put in 40 minutes on his rival. I mean, yeah.
Hands down, very good.
Yeah, great stage, man. It was a great stage. Great stage. There you go. A little cycling education for you. There you go. What you got for us, mate?
I'm going NFL Super Bowl 2021. Another thing you moaned at me for. First it's country fire, now it's a bit of NFL.
I've just never. I've tried every year. I try, because I know that you're really into it, and it's just some, you know. Because if you're chatting about on the WhatsApp group, I want to be part of that, but I can't get part of it because I ain't got a clue what you're doing. Do you know what though? I do understand some of the rules and that, and I appreciate all sports. I've never got into it, but okay, go on. I'll shut up.
Let's go defense. Let's go defense. Right, so yeah, Super Bowl 2021 was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Buccaneers won 31-9, and it brings Tom Brady, the GOAT of NFL. He's now got 7 Super Bowl rings. 7. And for those who don't know, so Tom Brady played for the New England Patriots for years and years and years, then decided he would leave, and he went to Tampa Bay, and people were like, no, that's it. He's done, because he played with the coach Bill Belichick at New England Patriots.
Oh, no, well.
Yep. And they were like the two, they were there for so long together, all the Super Bowls they won together. And it was a bit like football, like when it was sort of the glory days of like Man United with Alex Ferguson. It was like Alex Ferguson, he was winning everything. It's Alex Ferguson and, you know, Beckham and all that. No one could. So he was there, Tampa Bay, not Tampa Bay, the Patriots. And they were like, he'll leave. And then everyone again went to Tampa Bay, won another Super Bowl. He's got 7. He's at 2002, 2004, 2005, 15, 17, 19, and 2021. And it's a masterclass, really. Because do you know how old he was when he did it? The last one, 2021.
Wasn't he, was he like 42 or something?
43 years old.
So I do follow it.
Yeah. 43 years old. Like, there's not many, unless you're playing something like golf. Like, it's a contact sport. To be fair, yeah, maybe his position, the quarterback, doesn't get as much, obviously, involvement or whatever. But people get to sort of, in other sports, don't they? You at 43, obviously he has to throw the ball in an incredible distance, and as you do get older, things start to fail. You do get injuries. You're not going to be as strong and as fit as you were. So at 43 years old and still dominating is quite the thing. So they didn't make the Super Bowl this year, and he said he was going to retire, but apparently now he's only turning his back. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it was just, and for the first time, the Kansas Chiefs, the whole season, they had their quarterback Patrick Mahomes threw a touchdown every single game, and that game was the first game where they weren't able to do it. So it was quite a spectacle. And then obviously the Super Bowl, you've always got to mention the halftime show. It was by The Weeknd, and that was, he put on a show, The Weeknd, at the halftime show. But I mean, you need to get into it, because that particular Super Bowl was watched by 91 million people worldwide. People stay up in all countries.
So 91 million out of 7 billion on the planet watched it.
I think that's quite a big number.
Not really.
No?
I think it's probably just the cliche opinion of American sport. It's just the amount of timeouts and stuff like that, because it's 4 quarters of 15, so technically it's an hour of play, which can take 4 hours to get through, and you're just like, to be fair, it's probably your argument against cricket.
Oh no, God, that is boring.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing, isn't it? Like, you know, like 2020, and one day they have to finish it, but obviously 5-day Test cricket.
And they can still draw.
Yeah,
they play for 5 days and can still draw.
And they take as long as they need. So there is, I feel like there's that kind of argument against it. And I don't know if you did you watch the Champions League final on Saturday?
Yes.
Obviously they had the warm-up act of, is it Camila Cabello?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I said to my wife, I said, why is she on this? And it felt like an Americanized event that they're trying to do, which I didn't think it worked whatsoever. And I think the Liverpool fans made sure she was aware of that, because she tweeted she didn't appreciate the clubs, the fans of the club singing their anthems, and we worked so hard for so long putting on a show and stuff. And I was just like, read the room. Like, you've got all these fans who are getting crushed outside, all that ticket fiasco, and you're worried about your stupid performance and stuff like that. And you've got these people paying so much money to go see this, and they don't want to see you. They haven't paid to come see you. Where the NFL halftime show, that's like tradition, isn't it? That is like everyone knows this. You know, that's it's part of the event, and it's just established in NFL. I wanted to share something with you. My sister-in-law lives out in New York, and her husband, the local bar. This is something they do. I'm not sure if you're aware, but all the bars, basically probably all over America, do this kind of boxed lottery thing for the NFL every year. So they have there's this big grid up on this big grid on this bit of paper, and they choose a box, and each box has the score, like, you know, 25-21 or 24-29 or something like that, or the amount of points scored in a box, and it's like $100 per box or something. So you put $100, and then whoever gets the right score or the right amount of points wins the whole amount. And he won it one year, and he won something like, I don't know, I want to say like 10 grand or something like that.
No.
Yeah, because you have like 100 boxes, like 100 different outcomes. So someone has to win, and and I think the bar gets a take, obviously, but you win like the jackpot of it, and all the bars do that. And
Wow.
I'll find out for you, and you can tweet about it, because it's something I don't think that you could do it here, but maybe something you can do for the super. Maybe you could do a waffle cafe Super Bowl. I don't know what it's called, so I'll find out for you.
Yeah, find out. That sounds good.
Here's a good question for you before we finish this section. If when you're in primary school or secondary school, and you're introduced to rugby, but you're also introduced to American football, knowing what you know about both sports, which one would you go? Which one would you pursue?
I don't know. It's difficult. It's a difficult one. I don't know, because the thing is, I think like the training and stuff. That obviously someone called Christian Wade has just come back from America. So he was an English rugby player, and then they got this partner program to try and make it as an NFL player, because they're always looking for like other elite sports people to see if they can make it in NFL. And he passed the program, got signed for Buffalo Bills, but he never actually played a regular season game.
Right.
And he's just been, I think he's been there, he was there for 3 years, and he's just been released, and he's back over here now. Like he says, he still lives in America and he's visiting family, but obviously rumors is he's coming back to rugby. And the training and stuff, he says it's like with America, like I think you touched on it, American sports is so driven by statistics.
Yeah.
So if you don't hit certain numbers, like sprint wise, like you're not playing type thing. But he did some off-season game. The first time he touched the ball, he went and scored a touchdown. Whereas rugby, I think they look at more of you as a whole, and it's not so, yes, they will look at numbers and stuff like that. But I think sometimes in America, they can be so hung up on statistics that they could be potentially missing out on a great player. So I think for me, I think I'll probably still go rugby. But I think because as well, it's a bit weird I've always thought it's weird for NFL that you only play if you've got the ball and you're a defensive player, you're sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
And then you swap in and out.
You might never touch the ball the whole thing.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah, defensive players never touch the ball. All they're there is to tackle.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm assuming if like there's a fumble or something, they might get a chance to grab it and get
still run. Yeah.
Yardage. I know the terminology, mate. Get some yardage. I know for the first down. I know. And then the special team comes on, man. Yeah, man, they kick it. No, yeah, I get it, man. But like, it's just, there's so much to do in NFL. I get lost. I start watching it. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Oh, do you know what? Only thing I'll say, one of the best sports films Any Given Sunday, based on NFL.
There you go, then.
So, and that'll probably be my quote of the week next week, the Al Pacino speech. Time for Locate Vacate Real Estate. This is our content where we suggest somewhere in the world for you to visit, to live, to buy up. It could be somewhere that we've been, or it could be somewhere that we would love to go, and we just research the hell out of it just to sell it to you as a place to put on your list to visit in the world. Dave, where would you like us to go this week?
I'm going Caribbean, mate. I'm going to Antigua.
Oh, nice. Oh, you've been?
I have. It was the first holiday me and my lovely wife Hannah went to. She took me, and she's a bit of a Caribbean queen. She's been all over the Caribbean, but yeah, it was the first one that I went to, and it is such, the Caribbean people especially are so laid back, so happy, so chilled. And obviously Caribbean, I can't not mention the weather. So they have the average temperature for the year, they have lows of 21.
Okay.
21, lows of 21.
That's like highs here. It's like high, that's Northern Irish high peak time.
Yeah, that's obviously that's an average. So it can go lower, and they have highs of an average height of 31. What a climate to live in. And that is my type of climate. I hate the cold. I hate being cold.
What are you doing living in freaking Sussex then?
I have no idea. I have no idea, but yeah, it's Antigua is one of two major islands because it makes up Antigua and Bermuda.
Right.
It's ringed with beautiful coral reefs. I love swimming and snorkeling, and it's known, obviously all the Caribbean islands are known for such their many beautiful sandy beaches. I think I said when we did Locate Real Estate the other week and I chose New Zealand, I said about the population being way less than England. Do you want to hazard a guess of the population of Antigua?
Ooh, 80,000.
You always, whenever I ask you to guess, you're
not far
very
off.
close. You're not far off. It's 95,000 people.
Wow.
I mean, that's madness, isn't it? It's
a Wembley Stadium, isn't it?
Yeah. Twickenham Stadium. Yeah. How good's that? And then obviously touch on their food as well. They always have lovely fresh fish, because obviously they just go out there, catch it, bring it back, catch of the day. Yeah, if you ever get the chance to go to Antigua, I would highly, highly recommend it. It is a beautiful, beautiful place with lovely weather, lovely food, and lovely people.
Have you been to other Caribbean islands?
Yep, been to Barbados.
Yeah. And what would you say that as a comparison to like Barbados? Like why Antigua, not Barbados?
Oh no, I would do both.
Okay.
I would do both. I would do both. But I said Antigua because it was the first place. Yeah, I went on holiday with Hannah, so it's almost like an extra bit special over Barbados. But Barbados is still as good. It's still got all of those things and all of the same vibe. Maybe I should just be recommending the Caribbean in general.
On the island of Antigua, is there what would you say to pick out to do, or like a wildlife to see? Like, what would be your main kind of excursion or sightseeing tick list to do? What would be at the top?
A boat trip.
Was that like a sunset boat trip or like a snorkeling boat trip?
I think we did do a boat trip when we were there, but then when I was actually in Barbados, we did a snorkeling trip and snorkeled with turtles, which is amazing.
Thank you.
It was so amazing. I'll put a great couple of pictures actually from.
I swear you got GoPro videos somewhere, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I'll put that up so people can see it. It's something. So, and there was loads of, obviously the turtles know, because obviously the boat trips all go to the same place and they put a bit of food in there for them. But obviously I think I got a bit close at one point and they were like, no, come, like, so they're very respectful of them. Yeah. They just feed them. The turtles know they can get a bit of food there, but they make sure they're not like interfered or tampered with in any other way than just being fed. Because I think, I got a bit close and overexcited at one point with the GoPro and got told off, which is fair enough. I probably was a bit close, but because it was an experience I hadn't done before. But yeah, Caribbean, good. There's good vibes. That should be a good vibe, actually.
Yeah, but well, I'm also in the same sea.
Oh,
yeah. Well, although this country has the Caribbean Sea one side and the Pacific on the other side.
mm-hmm.
So after you've done like a week in Antigua, jump on the plane and go visit Costa Rica.
Ooh,
because I have never come across a country with just the most wonderful mix of terrain, wildlife, things to do in the world. Like, it is such a good place to visit if you like wildlife, adventure sports and activities, rainforests, beaches, people, culture. It's literally just, you could tick so much off just spending a week or a couple of weeks there. I mean, it was part of a little travel tour I did. I went from, where'd I go? I went from Guatemala into Honduras, and we stayed a night in the murder capital of the world.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Capital city called Tegucigalpa. And only after we got told it is actually the murder death rate of the world. I was like, shit. Then into Nicaragua, and then you go into Costa Rica. And Costa Rica is just amazing. Like, I made sure I tried to tick off things I wanted to do. I went whitewater rafting. I always wanted to go. And it was a grade 3-4, which means the rapids was a bit more, obviously, treacherous, but it was quite funny. It was really good. Went extreme zip lining. It's a perfect place to go extreme zip lining across the rainforest canopies. And there's a 1 kilometer Superman zip line.
Wow.
So I went back on, I found the picture of me doing it. So I went back onto the company site to see if they're still going. They do. And now they offer also a Tarzan swing, when you jump off a cliff and I look sick. I mean, sick as in, I don't want to do it, not sick as in, it's sick, man. And also, I couldn't work out, but they've got a picture of a zip line going through a tunnel, like a tunnel through the mountain.
What?
I know. I don't know. Like, yeah, there's a picture of someone coming out of a tunnel on a zip line. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But even there's a lot of chilling stuff to do as well. If you go to a place called Arenal, there's a volcano which is like active and just like smoking. And we went to a hotel. We went to stay in a hotel, but the hotel had like a little water park next to it on it, and had like the natural springs coming down, the water being heated by the volcano, and we're literally just sitting in the pools in the springs, watching this lightning storm above us. And it was the lightning where the forks were like across the sky. It wasn't like landing on the surface. Wow. So we're literally just sitting back in like this natural springs hot water, watching this lightning display. And then every time the lightning obviously flashed, you see like the silhouette of the volcano with all the smoke coming up and that. But then also, if you love your wildlife, it's somewhere to go wildlife. I managed to go to another sanctuary. It was a sloth sanctuary.
You like sanctuaries, don't you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've got to save the animals, But one of the places we've been to, there's like a cage of like monkeys, like baby monkeys have been rescued. And you walk in, and I literally walked in, they closed the door, and I had a baby monkey sit on my neck and just hang there with his feet in his tail. And then they took us around this grass area, brought this little thing out on a cushion. I thought it was like a puppy. It was just a soft, furry, like cuddly toy, but it was a baby sloth they passed around on the cushion. And I got a picture of it looking at me. So it's really lovely, man. And the beach is lovely. You've got the Caribbean Sea. There's a few islands off it if you want to. It really is somewhere you can just tick so much off. So do your week in Antigua and then do a week in Costa Rica. You'll have the time of your life. There you go. That's the Waffle Cafe travel services for you.
Let's get it booked.
Yes, man. I'd happily go back there in a heartbeat. So yeah.
What's your price? So this is where we try and put the other one to the test and literally say, what's your price to do X, Y, and Z, and hopefully make them squirm. So I'm going to go first. My one is, I don't think it's not a tough one, but listeners, for those of you who don't know, my co-host Ben, he's a very hairy man. He's got a good full set of head of hair, got a big bushy beard. So Ben, what's your price to lose your hair and your beard forever?
Forever?
It's not just forever. It's not just like you're going to go receding and it's just going to generally go bald, because I think people, obviously, some people really don't want to go grey. Some people really don't want to go bald. But really and truly, one of those two things is going to happen to every man. I think you're probably going to go more on the grey side. But even when men generally go bald, they can still hold on to a beard, can't they? So, yeah. But what's your price to lose both your hair and your beard forever?
Are we talking like wax it off and keep it waxed so it's like ultra smooth, or are we shaving it and every time it grows back it's just shaved so they could look like a stubble, or like
it's going to be Malteser? No, you're going to be, your head is going to be one big Malteser, and once it's gone, it's gone. You don't have to shave it, wax it, whatever. Okay. It's just gone, and that's it. You're going to be a hairless wonder. You keep your eyebrows. Okay. See that? Eyebrows, eyelashes, that normal stuff. But bald, beard, gone. And I can't remember, to be honest, it's probably school the last time you didn't have a beard. No, I think actually at college. No, I think at college you still had. You didn't have a beard. You had a bit of stubble, whatever.
No, do you know what? I did. So I used to shave using a razor, and I did that in my early 20s. I think only when I sort of started to get like a permanent job and sort of like career wise, I started to have like a bit of a stubble, and then started to experiment with different beard styles and stuff like that. And now I just stuck. I'm just thinking, what kind of repercussions? Like, what would I'd probably get obviously the Mickey taken out for a while. You get a lot of stares because you don't really see someone with just nothing, and especially although I mean, if you grew up with someone who's had no hair, no beard, then you accept them, and there's nothing's out of the norm for
it's
that.
Normal. Yeah, one of Hannah's friend, her husband, known him since obviously I've been with Hannah, and yeah, he's got no hair, no beard, but that is just him. That's how it would look weird, I think, if he grew a beard or his hair came back.
And and that's what I'm trying to think of. Like, I mean, if I did it, so imagine tonight I lost it all.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, like tomorrow, I've got a development day with my work, so the whole team's there, and they all know me with my hair and my beard, and I just rock up with literally just smooth as a baby's bottom.
Yeah,
it would just be
How attached are you to both?
I tell you what, I'm more attached to my beard than my hair on my head.
So if you went bald but keep your beard, that wouldn't be as bad.
No, it wouldn't be as bad.
That's why I did think that. That's why I had to put both into the question.
Okay, and this is for life.
Yep. They're gone, and they're not coming back.
So say I've got 30 years left, roughly. Right, that's quite underestimating. Hopefully, I'll live freaking forever. But anyway, 30 years. I'm going on the basis again of last episode's one of I want like a yearly wage. You know what I mean? That lottery thing of 10 grand for life kind of thing.
Always wants compensation. Wants compensation.
Well, it's what it is, isn't it? For the hardship that you're going to endure, because.
It's not really a hardship, though.
Well, it is, because you're literally going to be stared at, and I'd accept that at the time, because you could just laugh it off and just go, "What are you staring at?" You know what I mean? You want to come rob it? You know what I mean?
But for anyone walking around the roads that have never met you, or if you meet a new person and went to a new job, they're going to be staring at you, because that would just be them. True,
you'd get some sort of impression because it's just out of a norm look, isn't it? I'm going to say I want 70 grand per year.
Per year?
Yeah.
No, this is per year. It's not the national lottery.
Oh, okay. 72. I want. Oh, to be fair, over 30 years, that'd be 2.1 million. That's too much. To be fair, yeah, that isn't too much. So I'm gonna put it down to I want 250,000.
250 grand.
Yeah.
That seems expensive. I wish I had written down your other prices for your other things now, because that seems excessive. I wasn't thinking that high.
What was you thinking?
It's just losing your hair. The best of us, it's going to happen to the best of us, I think, really and truly. So
Well, ask me when I'm 70 and I've lost it, and I'll give you a different price.
we're recording the pod today, not when you're 70.
Episode 672. Do you remember in episode 7? Yeah, no, 250k. Haggle me then. Come on, mate.
250. So 100. If I gave you £100,000,
100,000 pounds for my hair not ever to grow back, and my beard never to grow back.
Yeah.
Go 125.
What could you do with 125 that you couldn't do with 100?
Well, 25,000 more other things. I mean, a packet of Chris is £1. I could buy 25,000 more packets of Chris. I mean, like, you know, I don't know when that 25 grand is going to come in handy, but it's 25 grand extra in my pocket.
So 110 wouldn't do it then.
125.
125 grand. Ooh.
I expect the money in my account tomorrow.
Okay, I'll be getting on the plane with the Clippers. Oh God, yeah. I did think that would get you that one. So, what have you got for me then?
Mine's also a hair related.
What? How do we always? Okay, go on.
I do have some help with my wife sometimes. I do ask, and we kind of come up with this. I don't know if you've got a hairy back, sack, and crack, but what is your price to? Do you know what? Just a once off a back, sack, and crack. But do you know what? Actually, I'm going to put a condition in this. It has to be filmed. It has to be filmed. Filmed for a live TV show.
Who's going to want to watch that?
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah.
Back, sack, and crack. What am I starting?
You know, like embarrassing bodies.
Am I starting an OnlyFans or something?
Yeah. Well, it could be a business out of this. So,
OnlyFans
back, sack, and crack live on TV.
Oh. I mean, it's just the one, so...
But it's live. It's on live TV. So once it's out there, it's out there.
I don't know. So
start an OnlyFans account.
Well, I'm thinking, obviously, if it's going to be that graphic, is the only place they're going to be able to show it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's the fact. I mean, if it was just a case of just back, sack, and crack, then I think I could just, you know,
it'd be cheap, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I think, being on the TV, I don't know who in the right mind would want to watch that, but then
there's some freak out there going to get off of it. Yeah,
there's some weird programs out there, isn't there, that people watch? I mean, people watch Love Island for some godforsaken reason. I don't know. And
also, it's that the waxing part is quite extreme as well. I mean, you've had wax done before, haven't you?
Yeah.
I've had my eyebrows waxed, and it wakes you up. And if it's what's like that's on your eyebrows, can you imagine what it's like downstairs?
Yeah.
You know,
waxing leads you into a false sense of security, doesn't it? Because it goes on all warm and that's all nice, and then suddenly it's like, oh.
And you might even get to bits where they can't pull it off, so they have to use two hands.
Put a foot on you to rest them.
Yeah. I love this content.
I don't know. I'm struggling because if it's on live TV, but if it's on live TV, surely they can't show you the whole lot, can they?
Well, they might. They might do like an uncensored version.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. What do people get? What do these reality TV stars get paid to go on these crappy programs? Well, surely it's got to be. That's got to be worth. Sure, that's got to be worth 100k or something. Surely.
So it's cheaper than me going with my hair bald and beard bald for life.
Yeah, because you said it's just on TV.
You are a cheap night out, aren't you?
Huh?
You are
Yeah,
a cheap night out.
cheap date. I mean, it's bad, but I mean, like, what do they do for like I'm a celebrity and stuff like that? Like they get on these like Z list celebrities, and it's like, who the hell is that? They probably give them chuck some 20K for like 3 weeks work, haven't they? So I don't know, that's like, be uncomfortable, be whatever. Then that's the thing. It's one of those things that people like, you had a backsack and crack on TV. I'd be like, they get 100 grand for that. They'd be like, oh, okay, fair.
I recognise you from somewhere. Yeah, I recognise you.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. It's bad, but I think 100 grand. I don't think that's too bad.
Well, I'm not even gonna haggle you because it's lower than mine. So I'll settle on 100K. You can have your 100K because I've got
Sweet. I'll wait for you to bring the wax.
Oh, you want me to do it?
What is that gonna make you haggle me now?
It is. I'm not sure I go that far, but okay. All right. Last but not least is our Would You Rather section, where we suggest a couple of options and you have to choose which one you'd rather do, hypothetically, or if you've been there, like my personal one for you this week, Dave. And this will really split your heart down the middle. So this one's just for you, and then you can give out the one for the audience. Would you rather, Dave, spend a day with Lewis Hamilton or play rugby with Johnny Wilkinson?
Oh, do you know what's hard about that one is obviously because you said spend a day with Lewis Hamilton or play rugby with Johnny Wilkinson, because obviously I can't drive a car, an F1 car, with Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, because I thought go for a drive with Lewis Hamilton, but that means you wouldn't be in a Formula One car.
Yeah,
you get dual seaters, Formula 3s and stuff, don't you? I think.
Yeah, I have seen. I think they've got them in Abu Dhabi. Someone went out with David Coulthard. He sat in front, and they sit behind him, type thing. It's a tough one. I think. Are we talking play rugby with Johnny Wilkinson in his prime or now?
Yeah, in his prime.
I think I'd have to play Johnny Wilkinson in his prime. Jesus, that would be.
What sort of swayed it?
Well, yeah, I think spending a day with Lewis Hamilton would be quite interesting, but actually, because I play rugby, and playing with Johnny Wilkinson, a World Cup winner, I think that would be pretty incredible to watch. Because obviously it's how he reads the game, see the options available, and I mean, saying that you play rugby with Johnny Wilkinson, a World Cup winner, can I give you one other question, one other would you rather then? Can I change it slightly? Would you rather drive a Formula One car for 5 laps or play rugby with Johnny Wilkinson? Whatever you don't choose will never ever come again in your life. Do you know what? I think it'd be pretty incredible to drive an F1 car.
All right, so Johnny's. So when you're sat in that cockpit of a Formula One car, Johnny Wilkinson gets booted to the touch.
It's because you can play rugby all the time, but
you wouldn't be. That's it. The Johnny Wilkinson, won't ever talk to you ever again after that.
Yeah, no, but I'll be able to play rugby again. Not many people have had the opportunity and experience to drive an F1 car, and to feel that, I think, would be pretty special.
Okay. Well, that would you rather is just for you, because I kind of wanted to pull on your heartstrings. So, but you got the one for the audience this week, so let them have it.
Right. So, audience, let us know on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Would you rather be in jail for 5 years or in a coma for 10?
It's just
So I thought that one was pretty interesting because both ways you're going to lose a chunk of your life, but the one in jail, obviously jail is a horrible experience for most. It's not a day camp or anything like that. And you're in there for 5 years, but for those 5 years, you're conscious, you know what's happening, but you might not be having a nice experience. Or you lose 10 years of your life, but you're in a coma. So you have no idea what's going on. So something happens to you, coma for 10 years, and then you wake back up. What are you thinking, Ben?
It's a horrible choice, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, lose 5. That's the thing. Lose 5 or 10 years. So yeah, I think some people might go, I'll take 5 because then I'm losing less. Obviously, you're in prison for 5 years, and that's not a walk in the park. Or do you just have a sleep for 10 years and not know what's going on, and you've missed stuff? Because obviously in prison, you can still obviously get visits from the family, get letters, watch the news, know what's going on. Whereas you see it in films, don't you? They wake up like 10 years later and like there's like phones and like new technology, and you have no idea what's going on. So what are you thinking?
My first impression was coma, because I don't want to get shanked on my first day in jail or be someone's bitch in the shower. Like, do you know what I mean? There is like, you'd have to adapt to jail life very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might not even survive jail. It also depends what kind of jail you're in. And you know, you could go mentally crazy in jail. But then, like you said, though, you'd see family, you see visitors, but then that would just be heartbreak that you couldn't be actually with them. It would just be through like perspex glass or something. But then a coma, you'd miss out on 10 years of life, but you'll be alive and you just get back into your life again. That's a really tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I'd lean towards the coma. I don't think I'm made out for prison life. I don't think I'd do well.
I think I'm with you on that. And I think it's all, wouldn't it? Because obviously, if we didn't have kids, I'd happily say coma. But then, like, if we started this, would you rather tomorrow? That's 10 years of your kid's life. You're not going to be part of. They might not even call you dad after. You might come out after your coma and go, "Who's this fella living in the house?" You know what I mean? So they might find another one.
But then, on the other hand, would you want your son coming to visit you in prison?
Yeah.
So there's that, isn't there?
There's no upside to this, is there?
No, I think it boils down to how many years of your life you're willing to lose as such.
I'd probably just edge it on the coma because it's safer. It's just going to be a lovely normal sleep.
Dream your dreams.
Yeah, and I think you got more chance of living. And you just have to to make the time up, really, if your kids remember you. And I think the coma just for me. Yeah, I'm like you, mate. I'm not made for jail.
I think this is the first one we've agreed on.
Probably.
It's taken 7 episodes, but I think it's the first one we've agreed on. So it'll be interesting to see if we have a flood of responses going the same way or opposite, calling us idiots, way throwing 5 years of life down the drain. But
I also want to know what kind of people would choose jail, like, because like you said, if we're not made for jail and someone goes, yeah, I'll take the jail, it sounds like they'll be quite mentally strong-minded that they could get through it. Because like I said, you've got to survive it, not get shanked and other things, but also just be mentally disciplined and just like you're in jail. Do you know what I mean? So
I think it'll be hard as nails.
It'll be a harder journey for the less time. It's like you said, it's a harder journey, more work.
Mm-hmm.
But then for the longer time in the coma, you just go to sleep. Yeah. So I'm gonna be selfish and just put me to sleep.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So how can they comment, Dave?
As I said at the start, it will be up on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So please get involved. Let us know your thoughts. And that brings us to the end of the episode.
Bye. No, I'm joking. No, that's episode 7 done. We've got a few more left before we do like a season break.
Yes.
Yep. Transfer window time, like I said, deadline day will come open and we'll go from there. And yeah, it's been good fun. What's your price, man? About a second grab. You never know. This time next week, I know you can't see us. I might have no hair on my head, and Dave might have really itchy balls. So
smooth as a baby's bum.
So it is a thank you for me. Thanks for joining us. For those who've been disciplined to listen to us for all these weeks, and join us again next week on the Waffle Cafe podcast.
Over and out.